In transportation, we all have these good deals. We've got a new customer, it's a great deal. And one of my mentors told me a long time ago when I was excited about one of those good deals, he said, "Randy, come here." He says, "Every deal is a great deal until you find a better deal." And that's what the metric viewpoint is. We have to be able to look at those deals from different angles. We have to understand now the velocity of a load. And velocity is the speed with which a load moves from the time it's picked up until the time it's delivered. Now it has blinders on. It doesn't care that you have relayed this load. It doesn't care that the driver had to go home so you had to put another truck under. It doesn't care that you put it at the terminal for 2 days from Friday till Monday. It just says you picked it up here, you delivered it here, this is how many miles, and this is how long it took you. So it gives us this unbiased perspective that says, listen, you got to reduce the time on that load to make the margin that you have. Now, and that's where the OFMI comes in, the Optimal Freight Movement Index. Because when you get garnered a load from a customer, you have a specific amount of time to deliver that load to maximize all your profit. For example, if it's a 500-mile load, you can average, basically it takes you 10 hours to deliver the load. Anything beyond that is stealing profit away from you, stealing revenue away from you. So you need to find out what that velocity is. If the time you book the load, it's 25 miles per hour, and our profitability analysis tells you that you're making 15-cent margin or 10-cent margin, that's fine if that's what you want. But you need to find out what that velocity is. And you need to compare it to what the Optimal Freight Movement Index is. If the OFMI is 10 hours and you're spending 16 hours on the load, you've got 6 hours of opportunity out there to increase the efficiency of your company and also increase the return on your effort. So the return on your planning and everything, you compare the difference between the OFMI and the velocity and see, this is where I can improve. This is how, and maybe you need to add more people so you can do this better. Maybe you need to find a different lane. Maybe you need to fuel in a different manner. Maybe you need to use a team rather than a single. Whatever you can do to make sure that you're pushing that OFMI right to its max and making sure the velocity matches that. But you got to know what they are first, because what both of them come down to is something we've never watched in trucking. We've watched rate per mile, we've watched deadhead. Now we need to watch revenue per hour. Because if you have a $1,000 load that takes you 10 hours to deliver, your revenue per hour is $100 an hour. That's what you're getting paid. What's your cost against that revenue? If you don't know, you need to find out. And you need to compare the two and say, okay, how can I reduce the time it takes, decrease the cost, increase the revenue? So when you're looking at revenue per hour, your optimum freight movement index, which is how long should it take to deliver that load legally, and what is your velocity, how are you delivering the load, what is it really taking you, and weld those three together, you're going to increase your bottom line.